All right, guys, thank you so much and welcome once again to United and Everything Football. This is episode 7 of your favorite podcast here discussing everything Manchester United and everything football. As usual, I'm here with my guy, the birthday man.
You had to let the whole
I had to let it in. Happy belated birthday to our big man here, Kwame. Happy birthday to you and welcome to everyone to episode 7 of United and Everything Football. Today we are joined by another special guest, Francis Aban of EIB Network, a seasoned journalist here in Ghana and also a staunch United fan. In fact, if you love United more than this man, I would have to ask a lot of questions because I haven't seen a man so passionate. I mean, sometimes 2 a.m. we're on the same group, 2 a.m. he's thinking of tactical things about the club and he's putting it around 2 a.m. So that's Francis for you. Francis, welcome to United and Everything Football. How are you doing, Francis?
Thank you, guys. I'm good. I'm fine. It's been a great day and it's an honor to be here. I've been bombarding you guys with a lot of my wild and crazy thoughts on United, and it's good to be here.
We're enjoying it, actually. We've been enjoying it, actually. Thank you so much. Kwame, how have you been? Happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much. It's been good. It's been a good week. Another year to anyone's life is a blessing. So, yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, it's great to have you guys on this show together. So, today we are discussing United versus Brighton, and also we'll be looking at our Champions League draw. We've not had time to look at it in entirety. We'll be looking at that. We're speaking specifically to the game against Bayern Munich next week Wednesday. So we'll be doing some sort of a double preview of the games that we'll be having on Saturday and also in the course of next week. Okay, all right, guys. So remember to, as usual, hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell so that anytime we release new episodes, you'll be notified and you'll be able to join and have, enjoy this exciting podcast we put together for you. So we are going for a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue on the show. All right, guys, thank you so much and welcome back from our short break. And it is still United and Everything Football. So we'll zoom straight into our topics for the day. I will start with you, Kwame. United come up against, as usual, there's a lot of things that have been happening. United is a news-making machine. Every now and then, as we speak, there is a Sancho issue still running. There is the Anthony issue still running. And all of these things are happening. But remember, we have a game on Saturday. We come back in action against Brighton, the only team that took 6 points from us last season. The only team that beat us at Old Trafford in the league last season. They are coming back to Old Trafford. Kwame, what do you make of this game? What are your expectations? What should we do differently in this game?
It's been a stop-start season so far, and we have to get back on track after we lost our last league game before the international break. It's always tough to take a loss into the international break because you have to endure trolls and everything for the next 2 weeks. But then another league game, fortunately, is upon us, and we have to win. It's Old Trafford. Old Trafford, I'm far more confident compared to away games, especially against top sides. So, yeah, I expect us to be able to get a result this time compared to last season.
But what are you looking at in terms of the setup of the team? I mean, given that we still have some injury issues, there isn't so much clarity on the return of some of the players, but there's been some rumors that we're likely to have Mason Mount and perhaps Kobe Mainoo back. It's not certain yet. At the time you're recording this podcast, I'm sure by the time you'll be listening or watching, perhaps there would have been news on that, but there isn't any clarity on the return of certain key players and all of that. We are not too clear as to what is with Sofiane Amrabat as well. He was withdrawn from the Moroccan national team, the precautionary measures and all of that. But how do you envisage the team to look like going into this game?
All right. So first of all, fortunately, it seems all the players returned from the international break without any major injuries. Amrabat aside, even with him, it's been reported that everything was just precaution. basically to help him settle into his new club, Manchester United. So I expect us to have as strong a lineup as possible. Mason Mount and Kobe Mainoo, even if they do return from injuries, I do not expect them to jump straight into the starting lineup. Probably they may be eased in. But then by the time we have the presser on Friday, we would have a far better, we can analyze the situation better and know who would actually be available and who wouldn't.
All right.
So Rasmus Højlund has played a couple of games with Denmark. It's quite possible that with the minutes he's had under his belt now, he could be shooed into a starting 11. Anthony Martial may also have a start and probably would expect more from him after he has also had minutes down the line after the season has started. The issue now, it's clear, it's on the right-hand side of attack. That's the main issue, if we are going to be honest, considering the developments that's occurred over the international window. Anthony has done amazing Greenwood. He has been suspended. Okay, some people are saying he's not been suspended. It's a mutual agreement between himself and the club. But I think we all know what is going on. His issue is very serious, and then the club has to take, that doesn't have to show double standards here. If Mason Greenwood was suspended for what he was alleged to have done, I guess the same must apply to Anthony now. So we've got one left-sided winger, a right-sided winger to replace one, and the one we bought for 100 million euros has also been suspended. It's just typical Manchester United. Nothing seems to be going right now, but then, yeah, you hope for light at the end of the tunnel. So the right-hand side, Jadon Sancho has also put himself in the bad books of our head coach by posting what he posted, the aftermath of which we are not really certain, but then it looks like he is also not going to make the squad. If we know Erik ten Hag to be who he is, he'll take a hard line stance on Jadon Sancho and probably freeze him out for a bit. So it looks like Pellistri may be shooed into the starting 11. Either that or Bruno may have to go and play on the right-hand side, something he's done on quite a few occasions. And then we may have a midfield trial of Eriksen, Amrabat if he's fit, and Casemiro. We need defensive solidity anyway, especially in the middle of the park against a team like Brighton, that possesses the ball quite a bit. We saw that in all 3 games that we played against them last season, including the semi-final of the FA Cup. We had to cede possession to them most of the time and play on the break. So if we have men in the middle of the park who can intercept, make a few interceptions for us, and then help us play on the break, I think that will serve us better than going boot for boot with them.
All right.
So yeah.
Let me quickly shift to Francis. Francis, what's been going on in your mind? You know, you have a very fertile, tactical mind. Let me put it that way. Francis tweaks more than Ten Hag, you know.
I know.
But Francis, what's been going through your mind going into this game?
Guys, I think what's been the most difficult way to assess the build up to this game is the pitch issues United have had to go through from start of the season and even to the last game we played before the international break and even to now. Kwame mentioned the right wing and the challenge that we have had over the period. The way back to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and the plan he had was to have us play the very best of football. At the time that call was being made, Sancho was playing next to a certain Erling Braut Haaland, who is on the other side of Manchester today, who were phenomenal going forward in scoring goals and assisting. Now, you fast forward to now, we have spent close to £180 million to fill that right wing. Mason Greenwood is out the door. No, the issues that have come with it is off the pitch matters. There is Anthony now dealing with a similar situation, for which the difference is that Mason did not come out at the onset to say he didn't do anything. But Anthony looks to have been fighting tooth and nail in Brazil to ensure that he pushed his narrative of what his side of the story is before the traction and the story begins to be that, oh, he's guilty, he must be hanged, you must do the same thing of doing to him. Yeah. He's doing everything possible to ensure that his story sticks. And the opinion about him is not tilted in one direction of with the lady. Every evidence he has is provided to the police. He's found a way to leak a part of it into the public space. So he wins in the two courts, the court of public opinion and the court of law, both in Sao Paulo and in Manchester. Now that brings a certain Facundo who we spent £9 million to get into the club. And it was something that everybody thought, who's this guy? Who's this guy that, you know, the club has decided to spend money on him and Ahmad, that everybody knew he was not first choice to walk in the door. But we're now looking to him to become the savior. Now, I am curious about something. He was billed to go on loan. Then, few days to the close of the window, we hear clear indications that he's not going anywhere. Is it possible that Erik ten Hag knew that this was? And so he had told him, you're not going anywhere. I'm going to let you play on the right wing. There's trouble coming. I've seen Sancho in the behaving. I've seen what's happening with Anthony in his case. It may take a while to resolve. So I'll give you a chance. I'll give you 2, 3, 4, 5 games. Tell me why I should bench those two players I've spent out of £180 million to play that same position. And I have you. If you don't do a good job, I kick you out. If you do a good job, you give me a selection, a very good selection heading to have. So that corner becomes the problem. But the other subplot going into this game is the battle of two strikers who are known to be tall, who are known to be athletic, and who are known to cause problems for defenders on any day. That's Evan Ferguson for Brighton and Rasmus Højlund for United. He's the very embodiment of a striker who gives any defender nightmares. Saliba was talking about Rashford giving him problems. I'm just hoping that we get a round 2 for him when he comes to Old Trafford next year, towards the end of the season. So that's where the key battle will be for me. As for midfield and Sofian Amrabat, I think Erik will not rush him into the starting 11. He will let him wait. He will let him build his match fitness and his intensity to be able to deal with the challenge of the Premier League. So I suspect he may have a cameo, but you know, a slow bleed into the starting 11. Same as he did for Rasmus Højlund, same as he did even when Casemiro came in last season. He didn't shove him straight into the team. He waited a bit, let him understand how the team dynamics is, what goes into it. As for Mount and Mainu, I think they will take a bit of a time before they start to play first team, or knowing Erik, he would wait to see how they perform in full training in the full week to decide if they play the Bayern mini game or they have to wait a bit more longer. I suspect this game may go the way of Nottingham Forest game, where the players back from international duty may be asleep for the first 10 minutes. If we are unlucky, we might consider go in the early minutes of the game. It may wake them up, and we see another run towards changing the fortunes of our game. I think this form that we're in now, where things are not too clear, may take a while before it clicks. But boy, when that click happens,
there we go.
Form
we will be unstoppable.
Where we were going 10 games and winning matches, we might hit that form. And the only difference is that we have a prolific striker who we can hang our hat on to be able to play good football and allow other players to contribute to score many goals. So that's my expectation. I think that we may see a high volume goal scoring game, but United will win it at Old Trafford.
All right. I like the energy. I like the. You see, this expectation I really had when we asked Francis to come. You know, he gives you that energy. I mean, the way he's analyzing, I'm sitting here and I'm just so hyped for the game on Saturday, guys. You have no idea. You have no idea the game you are in for on Saturday. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Francis, on that. And I think we've covered virtually everything. Roberto De Zerbi is a coach that, you know, we met last season 2 times. We beat him in the semi-final of the FA Cup, and also we beat him, and also he got a very good one over us in their home game. Very painful defeat That came
Yeah.
at the very, very last minute of the game when we played against them at their home grounds. You know, that painful penalty that came at the end. It's a game I felt we should have won because we did far more in that game. What we lacked on that day was the fact that we lacked a prolific striker to be able to bury some of the chances that we had on that day when we played them at home. So coming to Old Trafford, I personally feel that we have what it takes. One thing that gives me hope is the game against Arsenal and how we played that game. It was like we said in our last episodes. I mean, episode 6, we talked about the fact that you could feel that United were getting to that level. It's a performance that was satisfactory. It's a performance that you felt that, okay, well, we were able to play with our game plan, or we stuck to our game plan. Unfortunately, things just didn't go as we expected, or you expect things to go. That's how we got to lose that game. And I feel that, yes, I agree with Francis' assertion. There is always this thing when we come back from international breaks. There is that thing, and it was especially under Ole. When we returned, I think, and I returned hard because there was a World Cup in between. We didn't have so many international breaks, so we've not had to experience how his international breaks would look like.
But you could call the last World Cup an international.
The World Cup, perhaps.
And after that World Cup, we went on a
that was when we
won
a serious run. Yes,
exactly.
So I'm expecting that perhaps we get a lot more better and better. But I would go with the instinct that tells us that we'll come and we'll sleep for the first 10 minutes, and if you are not careful, we'll concede some goals and things may have to take. All right, okay. But there are some other serious games coming up in the Premier League. There is the early kickoff. Liverpool will be coming up against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, Liverpool seem to be, slow but sure. It looks as if they are coming back. We are seeing the Liverpool of old, and the things that you'd expect of them. But they are coming up against Wolverhampton Wanderers on Saturday. I mean, it's an early kickoff game. What do you know? We all know that the things that come with early kickoffs, and this is our rival. Yeah. How do you analyze that game in 2 minutes?
It's an away game, right?
Yeah, it's an away game for Liverpool.
Yeah, I think Liverpool lost their 3-0. They lost their 3-0 last season.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they lost 3-0 last
season. And the hoodie, the whole thing about away, early kickoff games. You're hoping that Wolves will be able to do one over them.
Yeah.
For our sake, Liverpool, honestly, they have started the season well. Let's just be fair. Let's just be honest. Mm-hmm. They've started the season better than I actually thought they would. They are not necessarily playing their best football. Yes, they are actually grinding out good results. So yeah, it's Wolves themselves haven't started the season really well. After losing to us, they've lost a couple of games heavily. Yeah. They haven't had the best of results. I think they had a draw against Crystal Palace the last time. So they have to get their season, started. They have to get their season going. So hopefully they pull out a draw, maybe. Hopefully a draw. I honestly don't see them winning against Liverpool. I'd be happy if they're able to pull off a point.
Who is stopping 2-3-1? Okay, guys, thank you so much. We are back again. And Kwame, we just finished looking at the Liverpool versus Wolverhampton Wanderers game. Let me get to Francis. Who is stopping Manchester City?
This season, I think the race will be down to Liverpool, City, and Arsenal. United may have an outside chance, but we will have to take that decision or a clear analysis of that in January, February. But based on current form, Liverpool can be able to give a good run for City, a sustained run.
Yeah.
Arsenal may be able to repeat their performance of last season, also because of the defensive and midfield surety of a certain Declan Rice. However, match accumulation, game accumulation, and injuries will test the result of this team in this season. So I think Liverpool will be closest to Man City this season. But United may have an outside chance. Newcastle, I know, will struggle. I know Chelsea will not be able to go on a consistent run because they are a team in rebuild. For Spurs, they seem to be flattering everyone now and making everybody say, "Oh, this is the new
We definitely
reinvigorated."
know where it's ending, right?
But
But
we know where it's Spurs. 3 points lane. We know what will happen. But for Liverpool, in spite of all their challenges, they seem to have a certain assured goal-scoring ability and some kind of stability in their midfield. Now, again, it's a new midfield. It's highly untested, but it's proving thus far to be a little bit more efficient. Maybe you might get a 4-3 scoreline, a 5-3 scoreline, a 3-2 scoreline more for Liverpool these days because their defensive surety is not the best as we used to know it. But I know they have the ability to find a way to win a bit more than what they did last season. So Liverpool may go into the race. Arsenal may also be able to give City a good charge for their money this season.
All right. Okay, guys. But let's look at the City West Ham game. I don't know what your thoughts are on that game. Do you think West Ham, given the signings that they've made, they are one team that are yet to lose as well? They also I think they have garnered 10 points for themselves so far. They've beaten Chelsea, they've beaten Brighton at home. Can you imagine? Something that not many of us thought would happen, but they've beaten Brighton at home. They got a draw also. Now, going into the game against Manchester City, the signings that they've made, they now have a certain Mohamed Kudus in their fold. I don't know. What do you make of that game? Do you think West Ham could cause an upset or something against Manchester City?
Now, I'll put it this way, and I'll put it very simply.
Okay.
If Pep was in a they win this game easy. The fact that he's upset and Moyes and his tactical play when he meets teams that he knows are a lot more superior, I think we might be up for the bigger surprise this weekend. It will not be a walloping, but it may look like a pipping, where Pep may be screaming from his home in Barcelona to his assistant that do this, do that. But before the information goes through, Moyes may have been able to cook up a structure that will be able to isolate Erling Haaland while allowing his very physical players to do something on the break. Now, City, we know, cannot pull the break, cannot change how they play. Yeah. They may do long balls, yes, now they're able to do that. Yeah. But their natural DNA is to possess, to control the game, to be able to affect play either from the wings or the midfield.
Yes.
But West Ham is a team I see that can do so many things.
Yeah.
They can decide to sit for 80 minutes and not score a goal. And in the last 10 minutes, panic.
Yeah.
You have an unpredictable player in Paqueta, in Kudus, in Ward-Prowse, Said Berama.
Yeah.
So many options. Jared Bowen. So the weapons they have now are a lot more. They can prove a surprise. I will not be surprised if City managed to win the game. But I think we're in for a great game over the weekend. Maybe a 2-1 or a 1-0 for West Ham.
This is very interesting. Francis really gets me hyped up. I'm not going to.
I know.
It really gets me hyped up. I'm really looking forward to that game. All right. Okay. So that's it for the weekend roundup of games. I think Arsenal will win. I don't need to analyze that game. I think Arsenal would win. They've not been too great themselves. I mean, but you could see, like we spoke about the other day, they've not been too great. But
which team are they playing against, please?
So Arsenal will be playing against Everton, who are yet to win a game so far.
No, but then it's Everton away from
Everton. Everton is playing home, and well, there can be a surprise. But I don't believe there's going to be a surprise in this game. To be very honest, Everton are not.
I think
what do they have?
Sean Dyche's first game. Sean Dyche.
Yes.
Well, Sean Dyche has been quite very, very, very difficult for Arsenal. Like even at Burnley, he's made it quite very difficult for Arsenal. But I believe Arsenal wouldn't give him a chance this time around in the game at the Goodison. I still think Arsenal will be winning this game. I see Francis shaking his head. Francis,
Arsenal will lose.
Arsenal
will lose.
1-0, right? The famous 1-0.
Arsenal will lose. And I will tell you why Arsenal will lose.
Okay.
Sean Dyche will not go on a terrible run for a fit going. No.
Okay.
He's had 2 weeks to fix whatever problem it is with his team.
Okay.
He will not be experimenting anymore. We will see the Everton of his Burnley stock, where he will not play any expansive football. It will be efficient, pass and go. Hit the team, make sure that we are not playing to any. Are we playing nice football? Are we no. Keep the back shut. Ensure that you stay in the game for as long as possible. Be rapid in attack. Get the goals. And I think that Arsenal defense has not been tested this season. Frankly, it hasn't.
Yes.
The biggest test will be against all teams, and he will put them back in that relegation mindset that if we lose this match, count ourselves out of this entire season.
All right.
And if I expect anybody to get a headache this weekend, it's got to be a certain Sean Dyche.
Whoa. Charlie,
don't you just love Francis?
Big game next week, Wednesday, against Bayern Munich. The draw has been out for some time now. We've been drawn in a group with FC Copenhagen as well as Galatasaray. I don't know how you guys would describe it. Let me start with you, Kwame. Is it a tricky group, or you think it's a group we are just going through with Bayern?
All right. So Bayern is obviously the toughest team in the group. Some would say the best team in the group, if they're being honest. So you do expect them to qualify. Perennially, they actually do so almost every single time. So I do expect us to qualify out of the group with Bayern Munich. But Galatasaray away from home is a tricky one. Historically, we haven't really done well playing in Turkey. It doesn't even matter the team we play against. Whenever we go to Turkey, we almost always have an iffy result. If we win our home games, the sequence of fixtures seem to place our home games almost like in a row. If we do our job at home and we manage to get a result or two on the road, that's automatically Copenhagen. Copenhagen is a given. We have to beat them. But then we have to get results at Bayern or in Turkey. Yes. In either of these games, if we do so whilst winning our home games, we'll be fine.
All right. Francis, let me get to you quickly. Your thoughts on the group.
I think in this, it's a tricky group. It's not as simple as people make it out to be. This group would have Bayern Munich. Let's assume Bayern Munich gets all 18 points from the group. So 6 games, 3 points per game. That gives them 18 points. Let's assume that they get all 18 points. United would have to get at least 10 or 12 points to be able to safely get out of this group. We'll be very greedy if we decide to top. It will be an outlandish wish to get us to top the group. However, Galatasaray are the bogey team in the group. They are the ones that know that they have nothing to lose if they go home. At home, they are a beast. It's a proper cauldron. It's one of the places where you don't want to go to play a game. The noise, the
atmosphere, when you go to their home, they have this inscription: "Welcome to hell." Is it a Galatasaray?
Yeah. Welcome. It's them.
It's Galatasaray.
It's them.
Yes. Welcome to hell.
Welcome to hell. And they will give the Red Devils a real devilish treatment in their hell. So I don't expect us to get 3 points there. If we manage to get a point in hell, I'm okay. However, at home, we must ensure that the Red Devils get their fangs out and get at least 7 points. Draw against Bayern, win your other 2 games against Galatasaray and Copenhagen at home. Away, beat Copenhagen, get a draw at Galatasaray, worst case scenario. So that gets you 4 points on the road, 7 points at home. 11 points is a fair outcome in this group, if we're being very honest. Anything else we get more, that's extra, that's bonus, we're happy. Anything less puts us in a dogfight, and that's what we don't want.
Like Francis said, there are games to win. There are particular games to win, especially our home games.
Mhm.
Copenhagen, we must win home and away.
Yeah.
Galatasaray, we should do our best to get at least 4 points for. If we manage to get any points from Bayern Munich, that should be a bonus, and that should see us through
All
to
right.
the next stage of the competition.
Okay. So Francis, let's zoom straight to the Bayern game itself. In 2 minutes, let's quickly look at the game itself. How do you see this game playing out at the Allianz Arena?
I think at the Allianz Arena will be as pragmatic as possible. Bayern Munich.
Kwame, how do you see us playing out at the Allianz Arena?
Right, so it's the opening game of the group. That's the fortunate thing, that it's the first game of the group. It doesn't shape the group, right? It's not like we are under pressure because we've had a bad result prior to this game. This is the first game of the group, and we could actually go in there, depending on our injury situation and the confidence we get from the Brighton game, as well as a proper performance. We could actually go there like we did against PSG just some few years ago and pull a fast one on them and probably get a result. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Manchester United does come to Munich, which is the north side. It's a few hours from where I live, and then pull a surprise.
All right. Okay. Yeah, Francis. So in Munich, how are we going?
I think for the Munich game, we'll play for a draw. A win is a bonus. Bayern will be out to get their first game and first points on the board and score as many goals as possible to stamp the authority and their dominance in the Champions League. United, I think, will be cautious, will be very pragmatic. If we're able to make a goal and win the game, off good. I expect Højlund to do a lot of work, put the defense on big notice. The battle I expect will be between a certain Varane and Lisandro Martinez against a familiar striker who used to give them trouble when he was at Spurs. I'm talking about a certain Harry Kane. Someone everybody said we should get that. We said, no, we want a younger version. So that battle will be up for it at the Allianz Arena. But the midfield battle will be crucial to see. And I would want to see, for the first time, us playing Amrabat and Casemiro, if possible, because we need a first phase controller in that game. If we do not control that game in the middle, we could be trounced.
Okay.
We could be horribly trounced against a team that has counter-attacking ability, has a very deadly striker up front. And remember, this is Harry Kane in a team that is super efficient.
Okay.
That can create 10 chances for him in a game, non-stop. Mm-hmm. So if we slip up in the middle, they feast. If we give them a nightmare in the middle, we reduce the propensity of conceding a lot of goals in the Allianz Arena. If they get a first goal within the first 15 minutes, prepare for crying on Wednesday night.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. On that note, that's how we end today's episode. Francis, you really got me hyped up. I've really enjoyed your time with us today. I mean, people don't know Francis. People think Francis is the news guy. Gathering the news on Morning Star.
I am. I wear.
But you should see Francis in his element when he's talking Manchester United at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. I wonder which devil chases Francis at night. Thank you so much, Francis, for joining us today.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. It's been great having you on this podcast. We hope you've enjoyed your time with us. Thank you. As usual, you hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell. And it's been great having you on the show today. Thank you so much and have a great time. See you some other time. Have a